they will be under more intense pressure to get a win against the French side, because that game could be a make or a mark game for them, because if they lose that game, I can tell you that their chances of progressing through to the next round is dashed, because their last game is going to be against Samoa. If they can get a win against France and probably get a positive result against Samoa, then they will be through to the knockout stage. But anything short of victory, they might just be in danger of failing to progress from that group stage. But we wish them well, just like Rex have said. As Nigerians, we need to be patriotic as well, hoping that they are going to go out there and raise the bar and up their ante, making sure that at least they go all out for the killer, get all 3 points, then prepare for the last game against Samoa. All right, the Super Falcons head coach Justin Madugu says he remains confident in Nigeria's chances against Benin Republic in the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations final qualifying round, despite the absence of a key midfielder Jennifer Echejini due to injury. Echejini, who famously scored Nigeria's winning goal in the 2024 WAFCON final against a host Morocco in Rabat, has been ruled out of both legs after sustaining a hamstring injury during Paris Saint-Germain's league match on Monday. In that particular one, despite the setback, coach Madugu expressed optimism, saying that the squad depth and the experience gave him confidence that Nigeria can still secure qualification. Madugu is expected to name his final match day squad after the team's last training session on Thursday, as Nigeria took to continue their impressive record of qualifying for every edition of the Women's African Cup of Nations since its inception. So for Coach Madugu, he's very optimistic despite the injury to one of the key players, Echejine. He's still very much confident that the team can do the job. This Beninois side, their senior male team were beaten back here a few weeks ago, 4-0. Do you think that their women team will be coming for a revenge against the Super Falcons, or you think that the Super Falcons' dominance is going to reign supreme against whatever they bring in?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Although in football, you don't underestimate your opponent, knowing fully well what is at stake. But I think that the Super Falcons are well prepared. Knowing fully well that they are the reigning champions of the WAFU competition, and they know what is at stake also. So I don't think they will let their guard down so easily. So I think, despite the injury concern, we have a lot of talent in the team. Assisat is there, a lot more. So I think we can be able to at least gain a good result against Benin Republic.
Hopefully, we can be able to gain a positive result against Benin Republic. Let's talk about the Super Eagles, because the Super Eagles will open their camp for the 2026 FIFA World Cup playoff on Sunday, November 9th. This would be 5 days before they open their playoff campaign against the Panthers of Gabon. The venue of the game is yet to be named by the Confederation of African Football, CAF. Head coach Eric Chell is expected to release his squad for the game at the end of the month. Cameroon will face Gabon in the other semi-final. The overall winners will advance to the Intercontinental Playoff in March in Mexico. So the Super Eagles, they are still on a long journey to see if they can be able to pick the next year's FIFA World Cup. But we've talked a lot about the chances of the Super Eagles against Gabon. We've talked a lot about if they can still make it through or if not. But then you look as though everything is working for good for the Super Eagles. The latest rankings show that Nigeria is one of the highest ranked sides in this playoff. And what it means is that if they just get to pull through in the African playoff, then they will need to just play only one game in the Intercontinental playoff. You think this is a soft landing for the Super Eagles, or you think it's going to be a difficult road for them?
Indeed, a soft landing. But like I said, I'm not a fan of playoffs. Playoffs are very dicey matches where sometimes you end up playing well and just in little details, just costly mistake can just set you off. And I'm not a fan of playoffs, so the Super Eagles long ago would have buried the hatchet by qualifying from the main World Cup qualification ticket and all that, topping the group, knowing that we had some of the low-ranked teams in that group, Rwanda, the rest of. So I think that it is another opportunity for us to let the world know that we've made mistakes, and it's high time we correct our mistake by making sure that we beat Gabon and beating whoever comes up between Cameroon and the other team also playing Cameroon.
All right, let's leave that and history to the UEFA Champions League, because there were some games that light up our television screen last night in the UEFA Champions League. Arsenal produced a blistering second half performance to overwhelm Atletico Madrid 4-0 at the Emirates Stadium on Tuesday night. The Gunners maintained their perfect start to the Champions League campaign and sealing the club's 100th win in the competition. Arsenal also maintained their incredible record of never conceding a home goal under Arteta's watch in the competition's league phase that stretched to 9 matches after he comfortably saw off the game. The Gunners will be back in action on Sunday when they host Crystal Palace in the English Premier League, followed by a Carabao Cup fourth-round tie against Brighton and Hove Albion next Wednesday, before a trip to Burnley on November 1st. So for the Gunners, it has been a blistering start for them in the UEFA Champions League this season. 3 games, 3 wins, no goals conceded. How far do you see Arsenal going this season? But then, before the how far, how will you assess that yesterday's game? First half was barren draw. We thought that, yeah, Atletico Madrid, could be able to hold their own. But then the second half, the goal just began to pour like water. Within the space of 15 minutes, goals begin to pour in. For Arsenal, how will you assess their performance yesterday?
I think it was a very, 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 very good one, knowing fully well that Arsenal are really on top of their game at the moment. This season Arsenal has been so good. I told someone, I said, Arsenal will do wonders this season. Why will they do wonders? Because they've been able to get some fresh legs through the transfer window. They got Eberechieze, they got Gukares, and they got some other players also in midfield and defense, and so they have a lot of options. So I think Arsenal is formidable compared to last season at the moment, and they are showing it on the field of play. So I think their yesterday performance was one of the best so far in the Champions League for them, knowing that it was Atletico Madrid. But let's not take away the fact that Atletico Madrid, they are not also good away from home also. So I think that Arsenal performance has been so good this season. They have a lot of replacement in every angle, and I see them going that far in the league. And in the Champions League, they are not the big boys, but let's see how far they can go this time around.
Let's see how far Arsenal can go this time around in the UEFA Champions League. It has been an impressive start for them so far, with 3 games, 3 wins, without conceding any goal. And some are beginning to, raise the hopes of Arsenal fans yet again this season. Or somebody is saying, don't let Arsenal, do what they know how to do best by bottling it at the last minute. But then, with the squad depth, with the players purchased so far this season, I think Arsenal, they have what it takes to, give any team a run for their money this season. We just hope to see Mikel Arteta, of course, change the narrative for Arsenal this season, having not won the UEFA Champions League since its inception. There were other games that came through last night as well, as Barca, that is Barcelona, the Catalan giant beat and whitewashed Olympiacos 6-1. What a performance from Barcelona, despite the injury worries to some of their players, Rafinha, Robert Lewandowski, to mention but a few, but then they were still able to get the job done. 6-1. Still, I mean, a statement of intent in the UEFA Champions League for the Barca side.
I saw it coming, knowing fully well that for Barcelona, knowing fully well that for the last 3 games they've not been consistent. They've been struggling with form, and playing Olympiacos at home was a good opportunity for them to show their anger or to show their ferocity, and which they did very well. And let's just hope that this form can also see them through.
Let's hope that this form will certainly see them through. We can tell you that Marcus Rashford was on the score sheet. Yamil Amal, and of course, was also on the score sheet in that particular game yesterday. In other games, Karit Amati played the zeros against Pafos. Like I told you, Arsenal beat Atletico 4-0. Bayern Leverkusen were beaten at home by Paris Saint-Germain 7-2. Impressive display. FC Copenhagen also, lost at home to Borussia Dortmund 4-2. Newcastle beat Benfica 3-0. PSV and Oven dismantled Napoli 6-2. Union St. Galleries has lost at home to Inter 4-0. While Villarreal, also suffered in the hands of Manchester City because the citizens beat them 2-0. Another result that more like a shock to so many was, Napoli being whitewashed by PSV and Eindhoven. Did you see that one coming? 6-2.
I did see the goal margin, to be very honest, that's a very huge margin, but they also got a red card in that encounter. But like I said yesterday, when I was on air, I said Napoli, Antonio Conte is not a Champions League material. He does not have that Champions League pedigree as a coach. But when it comes to domestic titles, he has that pedigree. So I didn't see Napoli doing so well in the Champions League this season. But domestically, I think they are going to do well. And let's not forget also, their team was built around Romelu Lukaku. Romelu Lukaku has been injured for so long now. He has not played any of the matches this season, and I think they are really missing his absence. Let's just hope that when Lukaku comes back, he's going to give them a fresh bite. The same way Osimhen is giving Galatasaray a good run for any opponents.
All right, we see how all this is going to work out, but let's tell you that Real Madrid goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois said Tuesday they plan to take Barcelona's La Liga match against Villarreal to Miami. He's adulterating the competitions. The La Liga announced they were moving the game to the United States in December, which would be the first European fixtures to be played abroad. Courtois said that Barcelona will gain an advantage by facing Villarreal at a neutral stadium rather than in a normal away game. The Spanish Football Association organized a protest against the game being moved by weekend, with players from every team not moving for 15 seconds at the start of each league matches. However, the protests at the start of each match were not all shown on television broadcast. Madrid have expressed their disapproval of the match being moved, and Spanish media have reported that the club have filed a complaint to the Spanish government in that particular one. We'll see how this one will work out. But let's talk some transfer gist on the show this morning, because a lot of transfer stories. We can tell you that the Vincent Kompany has extended his contract as coach of Bayern Munich by 2 years until 2029. The Bundesliga champion announced on Tuesday, not Bayern's first choice when he was appointed in the summer of 2024. Belgian company reclaimed the German title for the Bavarians from Bayern Leverkusen in his debut season at the club. His term, the 39-year-old coach has Bayern flying with 11 wins in 11 games so far and unbeaten in the UEFA Champions League group stage. Good one for Vincent Kompany. Not too many believed him when he was appointed, but then he has been able to gain the support and the confidence of the management.
It's been a good one for him, in his career, in his coaching career. Let's not forget that this is a Vincent Kompany played for Man City, and when he retired, he went into the coaching arena, and he managed to pull Burnley to from Championship to the Premier League, and he did it very well. Burnley were so excellent that season. They were performing so well, and he got an opportunity to coach Bayern Munich. I know definitely he was going to do well. He has a good football philosophy, and he has extended that to Bayern Munich. And Bayern Munich are really playing at a very high level at the moment, and I think it's a good one that Bayern have also looked at it to extend his contract.
Big congratulations to Vincent Kompany for extending his contract with the Bavarians. A good one for him. It's been a season of impeccable record for the Belgian under his leadership as the Bayern Munich coach. We say very big congratulations once more to Vincent Kompany. But this is where we are going to drop the anchor for this morning edition of the show to make a return in the evening. I did a show this morning alongside Rex Pele. My name is Emmanuel Michael, the Prime Minister of the Airways, and we are saying have a nice day ahead.